Hi, this is Mark Von Drasek, and I'm a physics teacher at Evanston Township High School, just north of Chicago. And this is video number 7 in our series on SEL in schools. This one is really focusing on forming positive relationships. So relationships are, in many, many ways, the key to life, the key to education. This is the ability to establish and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships with diverse individuals and groups, the ability to communicate clearly, listen well, cooperate with others, resist inappropriate or negative social pressures, negotiate conflict constructively and peacefully, and seek and offer help when needed. So the skills that we place under this umbrella of forming positive relationships are communication, social engagement, relationship building, teamwork, and collaboration. Now, for teachers in particular, these are skills that we work with from day one, typically in our classrooms. We all know intuitively, and we all know from our training that good relationships between peers, between the students and the teacher, and so on, are really the keys to classroom management. And that directly affects how much students are going to learn and grow during the course of your year. Now, of course, communication comes in all sorts of different forms and affects all relationships, either positively or negatively. Verbal, written, nonverbal, electronic, visual, and so on. And so most districts, my own included at Evanston Township High School, one of the explicit goals that we have in our district is for our students to become effective communicators. So every aspect of school, every aspect of life and the quality of life involves communication. When it's effective, people tend to be healthier and happier. They can learn in a better manner. It's just a good environment can be set up for students and for the adults as well. When ineffective, student understanding and engagement, their moods, the attention spans that they have are all negatively affected. So communication is very, very much a key to developing those good relationships. Social engagement is how a person interacts and communicates and connects with others, both in person and, of course, nowadays with social media and some of the addictions that our kids have with their phones and being online are those online engagement skills. So in school, this can include how a student interacts and connects with others within the classroom. It's a vital skill to have when they're walking through cafeterias and hallways during passing periods. Extracurricular activities of all sorts are terribly important with social engagement. And of course, being online for our kids, both within their friend and peer groups. So students being engaged with peers and adults is vital for learning. It's also vital for health. It's also vital for school safety. All of these different aspects of the school day come into play based on the social engagement between everybody in the building. Now, those who are socially isolated are much more likely statistically and through the data to struggle in classes, get worse grades. They're more prone to being bullied. They tend to develop and suffer from loneliness, anxiety, depression, possibly suicidal thoughts, and so on. So this engagement is very important for us to be aware of. Is anyone in your classroom falling through the cracks? Are they loners? Are they ever interacting with other people within the classroom? Do they seem happy because of that or sad because of that? And how do we deal with that when we see it? Then there's the actual building of relationships, the effectiveness of the communication, the interests and personality traits and preferences, people's beliefs, their biases, all of these come into play into how relationships form and whether they're going to be positive or negative relationships. The extent of social engagement is terribly important for both good and bad relationships. But in the end, again, the best teachers around know and understand at a very gut level that relationships are the key to everything in education. So the quality of students' relationships in school, especially with adults, now think about this, as adults, we all probably have those one or two teachers or coaches or club sponsors, somebody, some really special adult from our school days that have really influenced our lives long term over decades. We have that kind of power with our kids. Now, that can be a very positive, supportive relationship, or it could actually be a disastrous relationship and have long-term negative effects on kids if we're not careful about this. So that's why these SEL skills are so terribly important for every single human being. The last of these skills are teamwork and collaboration. While some may think of these as being equivalent, they're not. Um, Teamwork tends to be groups of people, an actual sports team, imagine, where individuals have their own roles and jobs, but they're all contributing collectively to achieve some goal, even though they're kind of sometimes doing their own thing. Collaborations is where everybody's kind of on board with the same game plan, and that group is working together at all times to achieve a goal collectively. Nice little chart. You can certainly freeze the video here, or you can check out the slide deck if you want to look at this a little more detail. But it just kind of distinguishes between the features and criteria for teamwork versus collaboration. But obviously, both are terribly important when you have groups of people trying to figure something out or trying to get something done. So these obviously are terribly important for students within the classroom, within school, whether it's any kind of small or large group work, lab groups and science classes, anything where there's people working together in clubs, in sports, in the arts, any kind of musical groups or acting groups. Obviously, this is something that teachers and staff members in schools are working on continuously. But the other piece of this is make sure that you actually talk about this with kids, not just throw them in groups, but what are the skills that they need? What roles do they play? What kinds of interactions are most productive versus least productive? Um, Kids have to learn these. They have to be taught these sometimes, and then get the practice time in so they can actually apply these in life, not just in school, but well beyond, decades beyond when they actually graduate from high school. So in summary, yeah, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about communication, all of these different types of interactions with different types of people that students and adults deal with every day. The student to student, student with teachers, with administrators, with other staff members, coaches or sponsors, in the home with parents and family members, outside of both school and the home within community groups. This is what we're talking about. This is why these skills are so terribly, terribly important for our kids to learn. So you probably do a lot of this already. Keep doing a great job and keep the focus on this where you actually talk with your kids about how to be effective in these skills so that they can actually prosper in their lives.